it was probably too big. Some of the videos were too big to fit here, and I
have never ever heard that related to me, that I was too big. I mean, and look at my tiny hands. My tiny hands just make my head look huge, don't they? I'm trying to distract everybody from looking at Deborah, so you know. Hi, Dr. Whimsy.
Here you are.
Hi, Gerald. Okay. Good to see you.
1, 2, 3. Gerald, you're up.
Hi, I'm Gerald Tarotstache. I have been reading tarot for over 25 years. You might be wondering why my channel is called Tarotstache. Well, I like tarot and I have a mustache, but also I have a huge collection of tarot and oracle cards, so it's my stash of tools that I have available. I like to do readings, and those readings are layered. One of the types of readings that I enjoy most on my channel is the caffeinated and unfiltered readings. I invite guests on, and we give clear and direct messages related to viewers' questions. These are great readings. They just don't have a lot of the fluff and soft delivery that others might have. So they're caffeinated and unfiltered. I do enjoy hosting something that I call a casual, which is a chat that's casual, where I get to learn about someone in the community as well. Deck casuals are when I invite guests on, and sometimes the creator of a deck, and we discuss that deck together. I was a person who I wanted to see more information about the deck and how it was used, so a deck casual gives me an opportunity to do that. Of course, everybody needs to remember to purchase responsibly, know their limits, and I'm always here to share, not to sell. I also host Tarot the Stash Way. Tarot the Stash Way is me teaching how I read tarot, and I encourage others to watch and to learn at the same time. I also host something called a Laugh and Learn. A Laugh and Learn is an opportunity for me to learn about a topic that I didn't know about and share some laughter with my guest. Laughter is a wonderful way to raise your vibration as well as helping to remember things. Part of that also is the magic tool talk. Since I'm a practicing witch, I like to share a little bit what I can so that it's less scary for people. With all of that, some people might think that I am an overachiever. I probably am. However, I do have the best chatters and the best lurkers. And that's one of the great things about being on YouTube.
That was awesome. That was awesome.
So we're going to bring Gerald up in just a minute, but before we do that, we have got another song. So if anybody needs to take a potty break, this is a really good time to do that. Oh, of course, now I'm not seeing that song. All right, let's do this song.
Was a dark day, we were frightened, so much chaos, so many white men, caught off guard, no one knew what to say. How did it all get so crazy? Facts were absent, the air was hazy, we stood watching, tears streamed down our faces. While in the White House there was a tyrant glued to the TV, cheering the violence. When they pleaded, he refused to say a word. He just sat there in his fury, lashed out against us. The world was worried. We didn't know if we would make it through. The day they stormed the Capitol, they couldn't take it down, and now we're rising up in numbers much too numerous to count, and we are taking back democracy, and understanding, we're united. Our elders showed us the most worthy fight is for our freedom, requires vigilance. We're courageous, growing stronger, not complacent. We serve with honor, and our power is the love that leads our way. The day they stormed the Capitol, they couldn't take us down, and now we're rising up in numbers much too numerous to count, and we are taking back democracy, and we won't be backing down. We are taking back democracy, and we won't be backing down. The day they stormed the Capitol, they couldn't take us down, and now we're rising up in numbers much too numerous to count, and we are taking back democracy, and we won't be backing down. We are taking back democracy, and we won't be backing down.
Thank
Wow.
you. Isn't that amazing? We're going to be
Yes.
listening to that off and on all night because it's kind of the theme song of our evening. And we're so grateful to Annette Dion for allowing us to share her original song. Please visit her website, Grassroots of Democracy. They are working weekly, filling out petitions, sending out cards, trying to preserve democracy. And they could use your help. So with that, I will step off stage and we will bring Gerald back up.
Go.
Where did he go?
It
There he is.
disappeared. Hi, everybody.
Hi,
Well-
Gerald.
Hello, and it's nice to meet you, Oracle of Whimsy.
Lovely to meet you as well. I loved your intro. It was very stashy, classy.
Thank you. It is what I do because I am Tarotstache, and I have lots of props. So there
I
you
love
go.
it.
So
I love your necklace. That's beautiful.
thank you. This is Tiger's Eye, and when I am doing readings online, this is something that I wear. It helps to ground me. It helps to protect me because, like many people on YouTube, many readers, I have a ritual before I start to make sure that I am in a good space, that the environment is good. So this is one of the things that I wear all the time. So do you have anything like that? Do you have any rituals you do before you do before you record?
We always do the empath prayer. And I think the empath prayer is kind of the easiest way. It only takes about 35, 45 seconds, and it kind of encompasses everything. I also like to do like my chanting, my mantra to keep myself focused.
Mm-hmm.
I probably should do more with stones because I really love it. I love stones. I love essential oils. I've seen that some mediums are using essential oils to help them get into certain vibes. I think that's great. I think it's all good stuff.
And it is one of those beautiful things. We have so much access to things these days. I mean, and I agree with you. Essential oils, crystals. I've got a whole bunch of crystals around me and stuff like that. So it's really, really an effective tool if it works for you.
Yes.
Because I'm a firm believer that if it doesn't work for you, don't try to force it. It needs to be natural. I'm a person who, for me, it's really, I build a relationship with the tools, my decks, my props, So it's a great a relationship and a rapport. And it's part of who I am as a practicing witch. So
very cool. You know, I also collect a ton of tarot cards. Are you like me? Do you buy a ton of tarot cards and then not use them? Because I confess to that.
Well, I will support you. Hello, I'm Tarotstache. I probably have over 700 tarot decks.
Oh my God, you're so much better than me. I've got maybe 40 or 50, and I thought that was a lot.
Oh my gosh. Call me when you break 100. Okay.
I'm chopped liver. Yeah, some of the ones I guess I can show. You know, have you gotten into the Lenormand at all? Have you gotten into the Lenormand?
I have some Lenormand decks. Yes.
Yeah.
And, Wiki is saying I buy some for the art. I do the same thing. And Tom, Early Ritual, is saying Gerald even has decks he hasn't opened. Thanks, Tom. I appreciate that. Mm-hmm. Throw me out. You know, I mean, this little blue bird is just for you. So, but no, I do have, I now curate my collection because there's a certain styles that I like. And I have definitely slowed down in the purchasing. So.
Wow. Very cool.
Were you going to show something?
Yeah, this is one of the decks that I bought that I have never used, the Dreams of Gaia. I love the idea of working with Gaia, working with that energy. As a witch, I'm sure you could appreciate that. I'm sure you have one of these as well, the Tarot of the Dreams of Gaia.
You mean this deck sitting right here?
Yes. Yes. Have you used it yet? Have you used it?
I have started to use it. I did a deck casual with somebody about this deck, and it is set up different than other tarot decks, than standard tarot decks, which is great. But this what I really like about it, and you can see I was definitely working with it, is it has a good book.
Good.
So I like a book that is useful. So, so there you go. So
here's one that I got a gift from one of my clients, and I have used it, but I stopped. This is really interesting. This is the animals of Australia, and the way that shamans in Australia, the Maori and the people of Australia have used. I should probably get back into this because the imagery is incredible. Do you have this one yet?
I don't have that one.
Yeah, just like all the different, so all the ocean, all of these bring out different energies. Bat Island, it's also parts of Australia. I just love this. So I have used this. And it, the idea that certain animals will come to us, this idea that we communicate with animals and plants. I just love that. And I'm sure you do too.
I do love that. And I actually think decks come in and out of our lives for specific reasons. And if you're using those with clients, that's great. And if those clients change, so the deck sits a little bit, and it's really okay. I think it's okay, but there you go. So, yeah.
How many of the Lenormands do you have? How many of the Lenormands?
Those I probably have, and I only probably have about 15 of those. Because I took a Lenormand class. I took a Lenormand class 2 years ago from Kelly Fitzgerald, The Truth and Story. Great class, and so it's really good. And how long have you been doing Lenormand?
Well, I don't really study it. I just read the books, and I just go with my intuition. But I love the Gilded Reverie. That's probably my favorite of the Lenormand, but I recently got the Siren song too. I don't know if you have the Siren song.
I haven't seen that one.
Yeah, it's very pretty. This is the Kill Pepper, and I think that it comes with 2 decks actually. And
nice.
look at the beauty of the artwork. I think I was just stunned by the artwork.
That's
beautiful. Yeah, it's just absolutely. Oh, I love doggies. Don't you just love doggies?
Mm-hmm.
So that is another deck. But yeah, I don't think I will ever catch up with you. I don't even know if I have enough room for 700. But that's pretty impressive.
Yeah. I am a little out of room, but yes, there is a deck that I don't have, Lady Silver. I think part of what happens is people get so caught up in thinking that they need all of the decks, and you only need one deck to be a reader, and that can be an oracle or anything like that. So, and some decks, there's some decks have a language that works for different topics to me. So I have a deck that works for political reads. I have a deck that works for love readings, connecting to spirit guides or ancestors. So, but yeah. So, but
ooh, I like that. Spirit guides and ancestors. Ooh, I want to see if my ancestors, if they'll talk to me. I think they don't want to. I think my ancestors are pissed at me. I think they want nothing to do with me.
Are you asking me to give you a reading?
No, you don't have to.
In front of everybody. I mean, I'm not sure that people are watching that, but you know.
No, I mean, but maybe they would be. I haven't seen any questions yet, but there's a question. I'm seeing some questions actually coming in. So it's interesting that we were talking about the ancestors, because Faith Howe, I don't know if somebody can put this up, but Faith Howe wanted to know if her son from the other side has any messages for me when I talk to him. Faith, so not my ancestors, but maybe this person's.
Yeah. Faith, what is your son's name? Wes. Do you do this type of reading?
Of course.
Much? Yes. Yeah. It's interesting. Yeah. I get the feeling that Wes has got his hands in some dirt. I don't know if he was a gardener or liked to tinker, but his hands are dirty, which is really fun, and he likes that. You know how people are when they get that when they get that so caught up and they're working with their hands, whether they're fixing an engine or doing something under the sink. But I would say yes. Wes has got. Wes is actually saying, "All right, Ma, why aren't you doing the things that you know you need to do?" Because it feels like there is Faith, your son is trying to help you not let go of things, move through things that you're struggling with. He's trying to help you. Okay, I have this image. It's the Six of Swords in the Santa Muerte. He's actually you have that too? Oh, people. So this is very much he's trying to help you, but you're holding onto the pole and not letting it go. And part of it is he's really wanting you to honor all of the feelings that you're having. And does he hear you when you're talking to him? Absolutely. And he likes it. he would appreciate you doing that more, sort of like that over a cup of coffee or a tea or a beverage of your choice and walking around. I don't. So I will stop talking. And what do you have?
Well, it's really interesting that you talked about the dirt, because he presented himself as the king of the earth. You know, the King of Pentacles is associated with earth signs, and like you have the Taurus symbol, it's the earth. And then when you were talking about dirt, it was so funny that he identified as earth. It's interesting also the thing about dirty hands, because when I went into his energy, he was very picky. I don't like this, I don't like that. And so the idea that he has dirt on his hands when he's like a cat that won't eat his kibble. So this was somebody who you get the impression that he was a little spoiled in this lifetime. He was a little bit wanting what he wanted. I agree. The Six of Swords comes wanting to pull you to a smoother water. The death, of course, is over him. He carried a heavy load. He was, I think, a perfectionist. I think that Wes was a perfectionist. This kind of, I don't like this. The King of Pentacles. That it can almost be perceived of as selfishness, but it's a kind of almost like, I want to say, fastidiousness, even though his hands were dirty. And that's really interesting. And he carried a heavy burden. And so I think that the takeaway here is that sometimes we can be wrapped in our own feeling that we are never enough. We are never good enough, that it has to be perfect. And then we end up achieving nothing. And perhaps he was so wrapped up in his stuff, he was not able to be there for people in life the way that he had wanted to. It's a very interesting card.
Yeah. I like how you're saying that, because you got the King of Earth, I got the King of Swords. So there's a lot of projective energy around that. He liked things in a certain order, like you said, OCD perhaps. And he always thought he knew the best way.
Yeah.
So
got a couple more questions.
Thank you, Faith.
I will just let the host pick the next question. We've actually got a lot of questions coming in.
That's great.
So, yeah. People wanting to know if would love a message from my grandmother, Ruby. Oh.
And everybody, while we're shuffling, the link to make a donation to the campaign is in the description. Use that one. Every little bit helps. No pressure. Vicki, I'm curious if I've ever talked to Ruby before. Because part of the energy that I'm getting, Vicki, is there's a lot of movement. It's a lot of swirl. It's not a bad swirl. It's just a movement. And part of it is it's almost like the whirling dervish. When the whirling dervish moves, and it actually helps them get to a state of ecstasy, and it transforms things. And so I'm wondering if there is a need for you, if Grandma was actually saying, it's time to get up and do some dancing or something, movement with your body. exercise. I'm hearing take a walk, get some swimming, something. So something move. There's a big physicality about it.
It's I get, when I go into Ruby's energy, there's almost like a stoicism here, that the person who wants the other to not fall into it's very easy to fall into our emotionalism, Vicky, when we're in a relationship we shouldn't be in. I don't know your background, but she presents as the Emperor. So she actually, Ruby presented as strong. Maybe she'd gone through the depression, but the Emperor is logical. They try to look at situations objectively. I feel like you, Vicky, may have come out of something really negative, and she was there as a guidance to you. Maybe you had been in a bad relationship with somebody and had to come out of it, because she is there as this logical person, and then you are in the midst of this emotional turmoil, which is being able to be reasonable enough to look at your situation objectively and know when it is time to leave. That is her message to you. Like, the Tower comes in and then taking you to safety, and then you pack up your bags and move. So it's almost as if her message to you is be able to look at your situation objectively and not to become emotionally tripped up by things, and love yourself enough to be able to move on from people and situations that don't serve you. I wonder if you come through a bad relationship or breakup or something with these cards. Yeah. It's interesting because of this juxtaposition.
Yeah.
You know, like you said, the stuck and then the heavy load. And yeah, I'd be curious what the feedback is from Vicky on that, just because of those cards how the cards are presented.
Vicky said, did that 40 years ago, and said no about something. But but it's interesting because after you have the Tower, if you take what you've said, I got the Wheel of Fortune. So there's things change. I have the King of Swords again, which is mastering your thoughts and your words and your deeds. I have the Ace of Swords, taking a new action, and I have the World. So after all of that, it opens up and it gives you a new world to go into. So and then
Vicky says that she had an abusive stepfather. So what can sometimes happen, she took you in. Yeah, I saw you having to pack up, leave a toxic environment. And maybe what she's saying to you is don't fall back into that again, being in a toxic job, and then you wind up back in the trauma with an abusive boss, and you're right back there again. So that may be, you're in a good relationship, I hope, Vicky. But yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was thinking she's in a toxic one too, or an abusive relationship, I think. Vicky, I'm so sorry.
Yeah. So what she's saying is, just as you have to make the logical decision, is this serving me? And to put emotion aside and to take the heavy load and move on. But also, it's a heavy load that you've taken upon yourself.
She's not. Vicky is not in an abusive relationship. Good.
Oh, good. Yeah. So don't repeat the pattern, I guess, is what the message was. Don't repeat the pattern. Yeah.
Has anybody recently told you that you're pretty good at this?
Oh, me personally? Oh, thank you.
You're pretty good at this. I'm like going, I'm impressed. I'm like going, Gerald now has to up his game. People. I'm like going, holy crap. Okay. I'm like going, okay. So, and I mean that sincerely. It's like, I don't know about you, but I'm fortunate enough to read with a lot of people. And I love that sharing that energy in the space. And sometimes it's wonderful because two people are reading about a situation, and together we get a rounded understanding of what's going on, and it's really, really helpful. So,
yeah.
Like,
yeah, that was good, Vicky. Yeah, good for you, Vicky. Rise above it.
You go, girl.
I think we have some more questions.
Yeah.
A lot of questions about people who have passed over, and yeah. Arian Hod, I would please like to know if there are any messages from my mother or grandmother. Okay.
Could you put their names into the chat for me? That helps me connect a little bit.
Yes, let's see if she did that.
Oh, there you go. Heavenly Blessed Honey would like me to invite you to my channel sometime.
Sure,
so
I'd love to. Mm-hmm.
We will figure out how to do that.
That would be fun. I'd love that. That'd be great.
Thank you. Mother Evelyn and grandmother and
Evelyn and Emma. Okay. Oh.
somebody is bringing out a fresh baked pie. I'm not sure what that's about, but there's this
yummy
pie that there's I don't know if it's a cherry or an apple pie, but somebody somebody worked really hard on it, and there were some kids or grandkids that helped to slice the apples, and this was a very nice thing, and a very somebody says it's almost like it's a core memory, and it keeps repeating for your grandmother and your mother. And I'm wondering if there's an opportunity for you to create some memories with your children or the youngsters in your life. That's part of what I'm feeling. There's this sense of I haven't pulled any cards, but there's this sense of this is how they tell the tales, and they share the details, they share the secrets of the family. So
wow. Do you want me to go now, or did you have more you
please.
Want to do?
Yeah, go ahead.
I got the message. This was kind of interesting. Arian Rod, is that how you say it? Arian Rod. I got the impression when I went into this energy that you are someone who is capable of great discipline, and your discipline has taken you far in life. Congratulations. So you're receiving love and healing, Archangel Raphael. Love and healing is sent to you from your mother and grandmother. You are seen as the King of Swords. They see you as the King of Swords. So it's discipline, discipline, discipline. And this idea of mastery, that you are someone that's capable of discipline and mastery. And congratulations. This is a good thing. This is what we should be doing in life. Find that which feeds your soul and apply the discipline that you have learned from when you were very young, this ability to focus on what you find interesting, this discipline. And, oh, by the way, you're very psychic. You had the moon over you, which can be psychic phenomenon. But here she is again, discipline, discipline, discipline. And so the message for you is, just as you have been disciplined in other aspects of your life, so too, you know, let yourself be disciplined in the things you love. But it's it is auspicious. It is a good thing that you are disciplined. Hard work is good. Hard work is good work. Discipline is good work. It's not some people, they can become workaholics and then they throw the spiritual out the window. But they're saying, actually, in your case, it's quite auspicious. The clarification, world over psychic phenomenon. You are worldly, you are spiritual, you are psychic, and you have used your disciplines wisely. And so good for you. Healing and love to you. You are aware. You are a self-aware person, and you are a person capable of great discipline. And it is good. That's the message.
Yeah. Oh, that's incredible, because they did say it was that I really want to pass on and share these things with my children. And yes, it was cherry pie. So
yummy, yum.
Yeah, and I agree with you, Whimsy. Should I call you Whimsy or should I call you Doctor? Or
Whimsy is fine.
Okay.
Dr. Whimsy or Whimsy is fine.
Okay, I just want to make sure, because yes, very, very psychic. Because I got the High Priestess, you got the Moon. It's like, this is, yeah. I would say you are not someone with whom to mess, and don't lie to you because you can see through it.
Yeah. I did, sometimes when you get that kind of discipline and that perfection coming in, it's like Eight of Pentacles is just the master at her work. Incredible psychic phenomenon. You're very self-aware, so it's not something it's very good. Yeah, very good.
Yeah, that's great. Water lily.
You got a buzz going on. He has a buzz going on.
While Gerald works on his buzz, this is a perfect time for us to jump in and invite President James Madison to join us for his message. Hang on while I bring it up. What is the time? It is the 10 o'clock section. Okay. Sorry, I'll find him in a second.
Thank you, Aspasia, for subscribing. Thank you.
Here we go. James Madison, everybody.
All right, then. We're on number 4, James Madison. He's the fourth of a list of approximately 10 founding fathers that we're talking a little bit about. We're discussing their lives, some of their policies and belief systems, and it's all in the desire to clear up misinformation. Founding fathers are quoted and referred to and talked about constantly, especially by radical right-wing Republicans, and yet they don't seem to know an awful lot of facts about these people that they revere, and we're trying to clear that up. So this is number 4, James Madison, and if you like, you can go back. Okay, James Madison, number 4, born 1751. He died 1836, 85 years old. They all lived very long. He was called the father of the Constitution. He co-authored the Federalist Papers with Alexander Hamilton when he wasn't busy dancing and singing on Broadway, and John Jay, who I'm dying to get to, and we will. The three of them wrote the Federalist Papers. They were a collection of writings arguing for the Constitution and its principles, but they wrote under the pseudonym Publius, the public. They couldn't be known. They would have been probably arrested for treason, don't you think, by the British, had they known who they were?
Sure.
It really took, I don't think we appreciate fully the kind of risk they took. They could have had their property confiscated, and they were all rich. That would have really meant something to them. Okay. He fought in the Revolutionary War. He was a close advisor to General Washington. I didn't know that. He was a strong advocate of the Bill of Rights. He was a vocal, I have to say this. Trump just said, well, we're going to get rid of the First Amendment. Somebody needs to call Madison and let him know. He was a strong advocate of the Bill of Rights. He was a vocal advocate against religion in government, and he rejected the idea of chaplain positions in the legislature or the military. He opposed the government days of prayer. You know how to have the national prayer breakfast? He would not have attended. He did not approve of that kind of thing. That's crossing the line. It's getting rid of the boundary between church and state. Now, this is a quote from him. Oh, he opposed, quote, even 3 pence of tax money used in support of a religion. I wonder what he would think about tax-exempt churches now. I might have forgotten to ask that. That's a good question. So here's a quote from him. What have been the fruits of the legal establishment of Christianity? Pride, indolence in the clergy, ignorance and servility in the laity, in both superstition, bigotry, and persecution. So James Madison pulled his punches. He purported to be humane. He is purported to have been humane. He educated his slaves, and I'm just referring to it the way in which they did at the time. He called slavery the most oppressive dominion, and yet he enslaved 100 people. But like I said, he had the reputation of being good to them. He let them be educated. And as I wrote at the end of this thing, he freed none. He claimed a belief in gradual abolition. You know, we'll slowly get around to it when I'm dead and I don't need my servants anymore. He pushed for African Americans to be removed to Liberia. He was not averse to slavery being allowed in the new Western territories. So, I hate to harp on this subject, but I think this is just critical to our situation today. You know, Mary Trump's book, The Reckoning. I think we're facing a reckoning.
Yes.
How would you justify owning slaves when slavery was in direct opposition to your professed revolutionary ideal of freedom?
I justified and rationalized. It was the way things were, but I will admit to the great hypocrisy of sacrificing my own ideals for personal gain and comfort.
Another person with integrity to admit it. Why didn't you free your slaves? So what mattered if you freed your slaves?
It was a practical matter. I couldn't run the plantation profitably without benefit of slave labor.
This is a personal question. Did you father any children by your slaves?
He was a little cagey about this at first, but then he finally did admit, I'm ashamed to say I did. A man can justify a great many things depending upon the circumstances. I'm
sorry, go ahead.
Sorry. I was engaged in a larger purpose. I rationalized that I could not do the work I was doing without slaves.
Yeah.
When some of those slaves were my own children, I might have wanted to free them, but I wasn't prepared for the political backlash that would cause. Yes, I was a coward. I regret that. I am still to this day making amends to those souls I harmed.
Yeah. That was my next question, was how come you did not free your own flesh and blood? And I didn't occur to me to ask, I guess I wasn't expecting that answer. What political backlash? Why would it be anybody's business?
It was the way things were done then. And if he were to buck the system, he was a leader. Other people might follow him. And, you know, those people who were in charge at the time, the movers and shakers behind the scenes, did not like that when people bucked the system.
Why didn't you push for full abolition and end slavery when you were in office?
Such things are not as simple as you may imagine without the support of enough powerful people. Massive change of that nature cannot happen in a vacuum. There simply wasn't enough support. I did what I could, working gradually to change minds and opinions to move us closer to that goal. Look what happened when Lincoln took the action to free the slaves. The country was not ready for that. And yes, that's another justification. It would never have been ready. But at the time, it was my judgment that the best way I could make a difference was through slow, gradual change. And that justification allowed me to sleep at night.
I think we could argue that with those criteria, we're still not ready. There are plenty of racists in this country who want to go back in time, get rid of the 14th Amendment, get rid of all the, all the supporting amendments that freed the slaves, gave them the vote. They've gotten rid of a lot of the voting rights and the civil rights laws.
Yeah, I think that's what he spoke to when he said the country would probably never be ready.
I think that's an important conversation, and I think in the context of what the religious right calls incremental change, that's their approach to getting what they want imposed on everybody. They actually call it incremental change. You can't change the big things, chip away at things little by little. What do you make of the racism that's still inherent in our institutions today?
I'm not surprised. People hating people is a tradition. While I applaud efforts to put structures into place to eliminate or at least minimize such racism, there is more work to be done. And I encourage you to keep moving forward. Never give up.
Wow, very interesting.
Yeah, so we'll bring Gerald back up. We have a few more minutes. You can probably answer a couple more questions before we need to do your giveaways, and then we'll be saying goodbye to Dr. Whimsy.
Yay. Thank you. Woohoo.
Yeah, that was quite interesting.
So the combination of the two of them is really incredible. With it's just like, holy crap, this is good. Sorry, am I allowed to say holy crap?
I think so. Yes.
So, but all right. They're new. Is there?
Co-hippie hiker, why is there new deployment orders for Kuwait? U.S. Army went out last week. Well, probably I would think because ships leaving the Suez Canal, which is a lot of what's going on in the Middle East, is just protecting ships leaving the Suez Canal. Unfortunately, the people of Gaza live right on top of the Suez Canal. So blocking trade coming in and out of the Suez Canal. And then unfortunately, when Trump pulled US troops out of North Syria, he basically opened the door to Hezbollah. And I think a lot of people who think he was good for peace or good for Israel don't understand that by pulling US troops out of northern Syria, he created the current crisis we're in, because it not only led to Hezbollah coming in, but it also led to many Kurds being massacred. And it was really about opening up trade for Putin and Iran and Syria that are allies in the area. They wanted their trade routes, and the U.S., by the U.S. being there, they were blocking the eastern trade routes. That's what I picked up in the past. Maybe Stash has something more to add.
Well, I was like, there's I'll just tell you the cards I have. I have the Fool, naive, moving forward, going on a journey. And what's interesting is this is straight upright, but it is facing to the left, which sometimes people says that's trying to go backwards and focusing on the past. The Seven of Pentacles and the Seven of Pentacles reversed. So the expectation of it working and having the fruits of the labor, it's not showing up as expected. And we have the Two of Pentacles upright, which is we really have to everything has to find its balance again. It's not going to happen. It's just so out of whack. So
the cards are kind of interesting. The West, NATO showing a strong force. Also, the Arab world is now allying with the United States to get rid of terrorist groups it's increasingly Iran is isolated like Hezbollah and Hamas, which are proxy, but you have this strength, and then you have the opposition impoverished, being forced out. This is war, so being chased out if necessary. This stubbornness and refusal to leave. So that leads me to think that despite the aggression of the United States, there may still be fighting from the Houthi out of Yemen, etc. Because there's this, we will not, with Hezbollah, we will not leave Lebanon. So it doesn't bode well, the Knight of Swords, I would think, because that could indicate that it could escalate, and a stubbornness on the part of Hezbollah and the Houthi.
Yeah, I have the Knight of Wands reversed, so there's a lot of energy, and it's not directed. It's really it's going in multiple directions. So it's like, yeah. So, but if Water Lily asked a question before I was having audio issues. Didn't get a chance to answer it.
Okay.
And I wonder if it's still starred and if it can be put up there. I'm still I'm seeing if I can find it.
Do you remember what the question was? Or
I'm trying to look. Don't see it. Pop it back in there. Yeah, her question came up. Yeah. Water Lily, what's your question? So let me ask you this, Oracle of Whimsy, since we're waiting for what can people find when they visit your channel? Because they're already the cool kids, they're liking and subscribing.
Yes. Well, we have the Oracle of Whimsy here on YouTube. We get together for Sunday brunch. We have an open table if anybody would like to sit and have brunch with us, 11 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time. And then we have Hot Topic Thursdays. And then we have Taco Tuesdays with Chuck Dransfield, where we talk about gossip, the Royals, and all of that fun stuff. And then I also do remote viewing, and I'm a naturopathic doctor, so I do medical intuition as well.
Beautiful.
So I keep busy. I'm like you. I keep busy.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. That's great. Looks like Water Lily has to go to work. Oh, here we go. Do my guides have a message regarding my daughter and I finding a house?
Oh, that's a fun one.
Yeah. Let's see what we can do.
Guess this will be the last one for me, alas.
Aw. Well, I hope you and I can do something together sometime.
Yes, that would be fun. Yes.
I would love to share some space with you, and I take everything very seriously. There's never any laughter on any of my shows.
I'm a Whimsy. I take everything very seriously.
Yes, we'd probably get along really well. So, do my guides have a message regarding my daughter and I finding a house? Okay. Yeah. Make sure that you're following if you're trying to rent or if you're trying to purchase. Make sure that you are looking at things in a balanced way, because it's significantly important, because I have Justice card, and the Justice card for me is a pay attention to the justice in everyday life. Got your mind your P's and Q's. That's a really important thing. It's important for you not to overthink this. Put it out there what it is that you want, and then let the universe provide it for you, or all that you want, or something better. You still have to do the stuff that you need to help make it happen. You still got to get the loan. You got to show that you're doing it. So It's a really important thing. And I think part of moving, I do get the feeling that you will be able to move. Part of moving, it is going to take be willing to allow things to end when you move, because things are going to be different. And that's a beautiful thing. It can also be very challenging to go. So that's what I have for you, Water Lily.
Yeah, mine is pretty similar. You know what you don't want, Water Lily. You know what you don't want. Be logical at this time. What do you need in order to be happy? So in order to have the vision fulfilled, you need to tell the universe what exactly you want. We know what you don't want. You have good stars. You will be guided. What's kind of interesting is we know what you don't want. I feel crowded. I feel like maybe you're having problems with your neighbors. I know I don't want where I'm at right now. You want to get out. You feel maybe cornered. You feel this kind of an energy. But 10 of Cups, a happy home comes to you. Focusing on what you don't want, I don't want this, means that your energy is focused on everything that's bad about your current situation. But instead, they're telling you, have a visualization. Like my home, where I live right now, it was because I wanted close to the trains. I wanted downtown. I wanted a washer and dryer in my bathroom. Like I was very specific, and then I went out and sought it. If you do that, your wish will be granted, and not focus just on what is terrible about your current situation.
That's so true. Yeah. Pay attention to what you do want, because that's what the universe links into.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wow.
Well, that was fun.
Thank you, you guys. That was awesome. So we're going to have to say goodbye to Dr. Whimsy now. But before we do, she's got a couple of things to give away. So from Dr. Whimsy, we have, how would you like to tell them, or would you rather I did?
You can do it, or I can do it. It's fine either way.
Well, I love it if it comes from you.
Oh, okay. So I'm offering a 30-minute tarot remote viewing, half hour, a reading. And the other thing is a free a telemedicine appointment with me, which usually goes for about an hour. And that will come with an intake and your treatment plan. And probably I'll send you some herbs, medicinal herbs for your treatment as well.
Those are super, super juicy. So congratulations to the lucky winners, Rose Blue for the 30-minute reading and Gemstone Rhapsody for the consultation. How about that? That is fabulous.
Lucky people.
Yes. So thank you so much, Dr. Whimsy. I so appreciate
Thank you for having me. It was awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Oh, my God, that was magical. Thank you, everyone. Bye. Thank you.
Bye.